Hey, welcome to another episode of the Innovation Mindset Podcast, powered by the Jim Moran College of Entrepreneurship. I am Mark McNeese, your host, and in studio today we have Zach DeLeo, the founder of Tally Liquidation. Hey, Zach, thanks for coming in today. How is it going?
Thanks for having me. It's going pretty well today.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just took an exam for my law and ethics class, so it could be better, but I think I did pretty well on it.
I'm sure you did. So you brought up class and everything, so I believe you're a senior in the Jim Moran College. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm a senior studying commercial entrepreneurship.
Okay, very, very good. So what's been your favorite or maybe most challenging information let's say most challenging and beneficial class you've taken so far?
Honestly, I would say accounting, and I think like learning the concepts was the most challenging part of it, but it really paid off when I started like opening my business and like learning how to use QuickBooks, because I kind of already understood everything, like the basic concepts of like the balance sheet, the income statements, and all of that. So it was a lot nicer to have those core concepts under my belt before like branching out and actually doing it myself.
All right, right on. Cool. And that was with Brenda Gardner?
Yeah.
All right, very nice. So cool. Well, let's jump into your business. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, you started it a little over, not even a year ago. It was like 6 months ago?
Yeah, just about 6 months ago in May 25th was our grand opening.
All right, very, very cool. So May 5th, and tell us a little bit about Tally Liquidators.
Yeah,
Liquidation, sorry.
So Tally Liquidation, we're a liquidation bin store. So basically what that means is we get overstock and returned merchandise from places like Walmart, Target, and Amazon. And then we get that truckloads at a time. So we'll get anywhere from like 15 to 24 pallets shipped into our warehouse. And then from our warehouse, we kind of stock the store from there. And we have 6 different priced bins. So it starts at $1 and goes all the way up to $12. So all the products that we get from like Walmart, Target, and Amazon, we put into those bins. So we've gotten like stuff that's worth way more than $12. Like we've gotten Ray-Bans before. We had a kayak in there one time.
Oh, wow.
We've had like grills and stuff like that. But all the main draw to it is that like the max price of anything is $12. So if you come like on our restock day, which is every Wednesday, that's when our like best products are in there.
Okay, so I remember you explaining this when you took my class to me and everything, and I've never really heard of the concept before. Take us through the different days and the different pricing, and I think you've pivoted too. So tell us about how you started and how your pricing was going to be, and then I guess correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that you changed. Pivoted while you were doing it. So tell us a little bit about the beginning, what made you pivot, and what are you doing now?
Yeah, so when we first started out, we had it so like when we restocked on Wednesday, everything was $22 in the store. Okay. So like if you came in on Wednesday, everything was $22. But then on Thursday, the next day, everything dropped to $15, and then Friday, everything dropped to $10, and then Saturday, everything dropped to $5. So that was like our original kind of model, and that worked, but we weren't getting basically as high margins as we wanted to.
Okay.
Because since we weren't like super popular, a lot of items would fall to the $5 day. And since it landed on a Saturday too, we're in Railroad Square, so there's a lot of foot traffic there too. So a lot of foot traffic would come in on Saturday when a lot of the products have fallen to the $5 price point, and they ended up buying a lot at $5 that should have went on like the $15 or $10 day. So noticing that, we shifted to the model that we have now, where we have the 6 different bins at the different prices. So like if we have something that's been in the $12 bin for a week, we'll drop it to the $10 bin, and then we'll drop it to the 8 and then the 5. But there's still products in the $12 bin that are worth way over $80, $90, and you'll still get items in the $5 bin that are worth like $30, $40.
Interesting. Okay, so let me ask you a question. So did you think about, since Saturday was your biggest foot traffic day, did you think about just sliding that to be your $22 day, which I think you said was your starting price point, and have it go down? Did you think about doing it that way, or like what caused the pivot, and why did you end up with your norm or your current pricing structure?
So we did think about that too, but also the $22 price tag we had originally was way too high for the products we were getting, because we would have like maybe like 5 really big items that you would want to get for $22. Like if you found Ray-Bans for $22, you'd be happy. But if you found like a $50 crock pot for $22, it's not like as exciting as the $22 Ray-Bans. So we knew we had to decrease the price to begin with. And honestly, I don't remember the conversation we had, because me and my girlfriend started this business together. Right. But
and what's her name?
Corinne.
Corinne.
She's in the entrepreneurship program as well.
Right.
But so we had a conversation about like basically how we wanted to do it. And so we dropped the original price from 22 to 18, and then we dropped it again to 15 before we made this switch to the different price bins. So we've pivoted a lot. And honestly, I don't remember, but we had a conversation about moving the restock day to Saturday, but something came up and I don't remember exactly what it was, but we decided against that.
All right. So how long have you had the new pricing in place?
We've had it for about a month now.
Okay. And do you feel like that was a good pivot? Is that working for you, or are you still trying to figure out your pricing?
So I think it's been great, honestly, because we've now we're able to like actually like price items, because we just hired our first 2 employees as well.
Oh, wow.
So like the point of sale system, we were using Square to begin with, and when me and Corinne would check people out when we would be working, we would press each button depending on what day it was. So if it was like $15 day, we'd press 15.
Right.
If it was 10, we press 10. Now we can price each item. So now we have a scanner. So all the employee has to do is scan it, and so it like leaves less room for error.
Okay.
And with that too, we can also like measure our margins, because it was harder to kind of like see how many products we were selling on the $5 day versus the $10 day. But now we have like because we're using Lightspeed point of sale now, it's a lot more comprehensive, so we can see a lot more data. So we have seen our margins go up significantly since switching to the new model.
Cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about marketing. I'm following you on Instagram, and I think you and Corinne are doing just an amazing job telling a story on your path to making $1 million, right? Is kind of the theme throughout. Tell us a little bit. I think I see a new video almost every day, but I know that you've been very disciplined on the messaging, and it's been very interesting, entertaining content. Tell us a little bit about how you came up with the theme, and how's that evolved, and how's that working for you?
Yeah, so basically when we started out, so like the series we have is like making $1 million, right? So we would record our day-to-day life and be like, okay, this is what we're doing to try and make $1 million. So I don't even really know where the concept started. I just started recording myself, and then I was like, day 1, making $1 million.
Right.
And then I just posted it, and honestly, it got more views than any of the other reels that I ever made. So I was like, wow, okay, I'm gonna continue this series. And then it really built a following that like I feel cares about us, because we'll have people come into the store all the time and be like, hey, how close are you to $1 million? I'm like, not close, but I appreciate you watching. So it was an interesting shift, and we were really consistent for probably like 90 days straight. Like from day like 1 to day 90, I think we maybe took 5 days off from videos. Now, since school has started, it's been harder, honestly, just like forgetting to record videos and whatnot. But it's a really cool concept, because people do care. Like people, and we've had a couple of videos go like pretty viral. We've had multiple videos hit over 100,000 views. Oh, wow. So people will come up to us and be like, hey, were you the Tally Liquidation guy? I'm like, yeah, that's me. And it'll be like some random like food spot or something.
Yeah. Well, I know that I really liked it for several things that I've really liked about it. I like the running total. Are you still doing that?
So I'm honestly, this week I started taking more videos, so I'm gonna put the running total back up there. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like, even though like I'm not part of it, I feel like I'm kind of part of it, like rooting for you. You know, you have the goal, right? And you're and the other thing that I really like is that you've included personal stuff like, hey, we went to the gym today, or do you work at CVS?
I did, yeah.
You did, okay. Yeah. And like, hey, went to work and everything, and I really like how it kind of it makes it that we're like, again, kind of, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Story,
yeah, it's involved in the story and everything, and it's not just like about selling stuff, but it's about your life and your relationship and your work-life balance, and then, we're working 2 jobs and everything. I really think that it's been an amazing, just kind of like marketing tool. Do you feel like it's had an impact in your business? And how do you see it evolving?
It's definitely had an impact. Like, we've had so many people like DM us, like, hey, especially over the summer is when we were really doing this series. We had so many people like DM us on Instagram being like, I can't wait to come back up when school starts and visit your guys' store. And we've developed those relationships into consistent customers too. Like, we've had customers who keep coming back, and they originally came from the Making $1 Million series. Okay. So we've definitely seen a significant or a positive increase from that. And we gained basically all of our following from that series too. Like, if you can look on Instagram to see how many followers you gain per video. And those are the videos that gain us the most followers. So most of our following comes from that. So it definitely has had a significant increase. And the thing is, it kind of sucks in a way because we don't know where to take marketing from there. Like, that's a big struggle me and Corinne are having right now, is figuring out where we want to take the marketing from here. Because we've been so inconsistent with the videos recently that it's kind of like, it's hard to jump back into that kind of whole routine and that whole style of it. Right. We just really need to like make the step and do it. But it's hard to get back in the groove of it once you exit it.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like they say in podcasting, don't start out doing 5 a week or something. Yeah. Like, do what you think you can do with consistency. So that might be the next step, is like, okay, realistically, and I don't know how long it takes you to put those videos together. They seem pretty in depth. Are they easy?
So like when I make it, the biggest thing is just taking the clips throughout the day. Like, I just have to remind myself, like, okay, record what you're doing. And then it literally, end of the day, I throw all the videos into CapCut, do basic editing, trim the sides. And CapCut has the amazing feature where you can just click a button and it puts all the captions on there for you. And then I'll have to voice it over too. So I'll like do the voiceover. It takes 2 minutes for the 1 minute video. So it's not like that hard to do. And like, honestly, anyone can do it. Like, it's a very simple process. It's just a matter of doing it.
Right. I think that even though, like, I like the constant content, I mean, I think even if you just did it like once a week, like a once a week update on, road to making $1 million or whatever, I think you would probably get, a lot of bang out of that. I just know, like, personally, like, you've definitely connected me with the story and stuff like that. I'm never down in Railroad Square. But I've actually really wanted to come visit you guys. Yeah. There was one day you did a video where you guys were like sad because like not a lot of people were there and everything. I was like, oh, I should go visit them. but I've heard, like, even though I haven't been there, I've told like lots of students about you awesome. And everything, because I just think your story is so cool. And I don't know. I just, I would encourage you to make that time and make that discipline to, I mean, I think at least once a week, just to keep it up. How many followers do you have on Instagram now?
So we're at about 1,400 on Instagram, and then we're almost at 400 on YouTube. Okay. And then we're at about 800 on TikTok. So a decent amount.
All right. Yeah, no, that's cool. So when you're thinking about like next steps and everything, you're trying to figure out how to tell your story and stuff like that. And I get that. I think you guys have hit upon it. I think it's just a matter of consistency and everything. But like, where do you see like the next opportunities for growth and establishing yourselves as a business in Railroad Square?
So we're trying to transition out of Railroad Square right now. Like what we want to go towards like in the future is being, so right now we're selling to consumers, right? Consumers come into our store and buy like one individual product.
Right.
What we want to transition into is selling the actual pallets that we get in rather than the individual items. So right now, I was actually just talking to the guy before I came in here, but we're having a guy develop a website for us so that we can list the products or list the pallets on our website as auctions and like just set price pallets. So that's the route we really want to take it going into the future, because having the retail store is nice, but also like there's so many like expenses with that. Like we have to pay like employees to be there 40 hours a week. We have to pay for rent. We have to pay for the warehouse on top of it. So there's all these things that compile, and it's easier to like have just a warehouse where I get pallets in and then I ship pallets out, rather than having to worry about like the having to get foot traffic. And it's a different market we're kind of shifting into, but we really want to go more into the supplier position rather than the selling to consumer position.
So who would buy a pallet? Like what kind of business would buy a pallet of stuff?
So when I was in high school, I actually bought pallets. So I used to buy like one liquidation pallet at a time, and then I'd flip the items inside on either like eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Okay. So that's how I learned the market to begin with. So we would try and like honestly turn our social media into that, like, hey, you can come on our website and buy this pallet for $1,000 and go around and resell it for $2,000.
Okay.
So that's what we're gonna try and market, as well as focusing on like the bin store, like we have like that kind of consumer, as well as like it's called like a liquidation discount store, where it's just basically the same thing as our store, but everything's individually priced.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Very cool. So, so is this something that you guys want to carry through post-graduation, or what's the future look like?
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned CVS earlier. So I had an internship there over the summer, and it was for a store manager and training position. They actually offered me a job coming out when I graduated, and at that time, I was kind of weighing my decisions. I was like, do I stick with Tally Liquidation long-term, or do I go into CVS? And I ended up saying no to the job, and I'm thinking I'm going to take Tally Liquidation long-term.
Okay, very, very cool. So, and do you graduate this semester or next semester?
Next semester.
Okay, very cool. So what classes do you have left?
What classes do I have left? Honestly, I don't really know.
No.
So there's a couple, but I need like 2 credit hours. So the classes I'm most excited for next semester are golf and bowling.
Okay, so you got some electives left. Well, you should take the podcasting class too. Oh, yeah. So, well, cool. So, like, when you think back on challenges that you faced, like you felt like, didn't you guys get closed down by a storm? Which storm was that?
So literally there was a tornado. So we were supposed to open May 25th. Our lease started May 14th. Okay. We were supposed to open the 25th. And then me and Corinne weren't even in the country. Me and Corinne were in Panama on vacation. Okay. And I see my phone's blowing up first thing in the morning. I'm like, what's happening? I go on Instagram and I see on Barstool, it's just a video of Railroad Square, and it's just destroyed. Oh. And I'm like, wow, we got to open in like 3 weeks. So it was literally 2 tornadoes just converged inside Railroad Square, and it's not like the best infrastructure there. So like half of the place just got ripped to shreds. So it was like a very depressing start, because like all the businesses were like closed for a while. We ended up opening right when like everyone else started opening. So we were able to keep our original opening date. But like right off the bat, we were hit with like this tornado. And then also 2 hurricanes have come through since opening as well. So we've had to like deal with that. Like I've had to like go and get sandbags so like the front doesn't flood. Right. We'd like boarded up the windows with like pieces of plywood. So it's just, there's just like natural events has been really our biggest like factor for being closed.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah, we've had a lot of weather events lately, and you guys posted some pretty crazy footage of, especially the tornado. I forgot what it was, but yeah, it was a tornado and things like that. So from the business aspect and just getting people in the door, what's been some of the challenges in that?
Some of the challenges is just consistent marketing efforts. Like, so when we first opened, we had a bunch of flyers for our grand opening, and that did really well. Like people, because we said bring the flyer in, you get 10% off. We had a ton of people bring the flyers in. So like going out and like handing out flyers or putting out flyers, that was the best way we started off marketing. And it just, I haven't had enough time to go and print the flyers and then go and hand them out. So like stuff like that, like I just don't have time to do, I think is the biggest like kind of struggle that I face, is just not having enough time to do everything I want to get done.
Yeah. Have you taken advantage of the Jim Moran College micro grant? Do you know what that is?
Yeah. So we actually, me and Corinne gave a pitch for this last one, basically pitching our idea to transition into more of the supplier position. And we ended up getting $500 to start development on our website.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the micro grant, I think, is one of the best kept secrets at the Jim Moran College. It's like up to $5,000 to put some fuel in the tank of your business and things like that. So hopefully they told you, you got that 500. Hopefully they told you that you can come back.
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
They
good.
said once you get it up and running, reapply.
Right, yeah, exactly, because you could get that other 4,500. And I think that's like such a great thing that our college has for entrepreneurs, just to inject some capital into their going concerns. So, well, cool. So, so what's the big like next steps, I guess, in transitioning from a retail to a more wholesale besides like the website, or is that the big thing?
So that and figuring out like the logistics of it, like how we're going to get stuff shipped in, where we're getting it shipped into, how we're getting it shipped out. So kind of like all like the logistics of it is, I would say, the next biggest step. And then getting the website done as well. So like honestly, just the logistics of it.
Yeah. So, all right, well, cool. So, so if you were going to beam back to May before you started, let's say before you went on vacation to Panama, and you could tell yourself one thing about just running the business and getting it up and started, what would you tell yourself?
Honestly, what I would say, it would be start journaling every day. So
Interesting.
What I like really learned, like this has been the past like probably 2 or 3 months, I really learned this, is like once I start journaling basically every day about like what I did today, what I accomplished, what I want to achieve coming this next week, it really helped me hone in on what I need to do and what I want to accomplish. So if I were to do that consistently from the start, I feel like I would be in a higher position than where I am now. Because I feel like in the past like 3 months, really, like that's gotten my focus on kind of where I want to take the business, how I want to do it, what I'm going to do, specific things to do it.
That's awesome. Well, that's a good word. Anything else you want to add before we close out?
I think that's it. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming in, Zach. Hey, thanks for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Innovation Mindset Podcast, powered by the Jim Moran College of Entrepreneurship. Hey, be sure to check out Tally Liquidation and be sure to say hi to Zach if he is in there. Also, do us a favor, if you like this episode, hit like and definitely subscribe so you never miss another amazing episode.